My fiancée let the entire party do it to her. I walked in and saw it. I can't stop crying. I honestly don't even know how to start this. I feel like I'm living in someone else's nightmare. I can't eat. I can't sleep. I'm sitting in my car shaking as I type this, because I have nowhere else to go right now. I, 29M, was engaged to Leah, 27F. We've been together 5 years, engaged for 1. We've lived together for almost 4 years. She's my best friend. Or she was. I don't even know anymore. My stomach turns when I think about her now. This past weekend, her childhood friend, Alyssa, threw a big birthday party. Alyssa is known for her wild lifestyle, think lots of alcohol, drugs, and drama, but Leah always reassured me that when she went to her parties, she kept it chill. Leah would go every year. I never did because it's really not my scene, and honestly, Alyssa always gave me weird vibes. But I trusted Leah. She's never given me a reason not to. That trust is gone now. The party was Saturday night. Leah said she was going with some of her girlfriends and would probably stay over since it was out in the suburbs and they were drinking. No big deal. I said, have fun, kissed her goodbye, and spent the evening gaming with friends. Around 11 p.m. I got this weird feeling in my gut. I know how that sounds, super vague, borderline dramatic, but it was like this overwhelming pressure in my chest. I couldn't focus. Something just felt off. So I texted Leah just to check in. You good? No answer. Then I saw that her location was still shared with me on Find My iPhone. I usually never check it, but something in me just did. She was at the Airbnb Alyssa had rented about 25 minutes away. I didn't plan to go at first, but I had this gnawing anxiety that wouldn't let up. I texted her again. Nothing. Called. Straight to voicemail. So I grabbed my keys and drove out. I figured worst case I'd swing by and just make sure she was okay. Maybe I was just being paranoid. I arrived at the house around midnight. Cars were everywhere, loud music pumping from the backyard, lots of people stumbling around. I parked down the street and walked up, already feeling like I didn't belong. The front door was cracked open, so I just walked in. What I saw when I entered the living room is now burned into my brain. Leah was there, in the center of the room, barely clothed, surrounded by several guys, laughing, touching, groping, taking turns. Other people were watching, filming, cheering. I froze. I thought I was going to pass out. She didn't see me at first. She was busy, but then someone else noticed me and tapped her. She turned. Our eyes locked. Her face dropped like a curtain fell. She grabbed a blanket or towel or something and ran upstairs, yelling at everyone to stop recording. I stood there, completely frozen, until one of the other partygoers said, "Dude, you should go." So I left. I don't even remember driving home. My hands were shaking the whole way. I tried to rationalize it. Maybe she was drunk out of her mind, maybe it wasn't what it looked like, but I saw too much for that. I cried in the car, full-on sobbing. I hadn't cried like that since my dad died. I haven't spoken to her since. She's texted me a bunch, first saying, it wasn't what it looked like, then, please talk to me, and then finally, you knew what kind of party this was. We're open-minded people, remember? No, we're not. We never had an open relationship. We never discussed anything like that. She always said monogamy was important to her. She literally once said she couldn't even imagine kissing someone else. But this wasn't a kiss. This wasn't an accident. This was something planned, organized, and it broke me. I packed a bag and I've been staying at my brother's place since Sunday. I haven't told many people, just my brother and one close friend who said she's heard about these kinds of parties through the grapevine and that everyone knows Alyssa's birthdays are like orgies. I didn't know. Leah never told me. Never even hinted at it. We were planning a wedding, picking venues, talking about kids. She knew I was a one-woman kind of guy. I don't care if other people are into open stuff. That's fine. But I'm not that guy. And I can't stop replaying it in my head. Her face, their hands, the look in her eyes when she realized I saw everything. I'm writing this because I feel completely destroyed. Like I don't know who I am anymore. She was my person. We shared a life, a home. We talked about growing old together. And now I can't look at her the same. I can't even cry anymore. I'm just numb. What do I do now? Has anyone come back from something like this? Update number 2. I confronted my fiancée and her family about what happened at the party. I finally got answers I didn't want. Original post and first update in profile. Hey Reddit. This is going to be long and it's probably the last update I'll post. But I needed to write it down. For myself. For closure. It's been a few days since I posted about what happened at Alyssa's party, where I walked in and saw my fiancée, Leah, in the middle of what was basically an open group sex situation. No warning, no prior agreement, nothing. Just me walking in to witness the woman I was going to marry being passed around while people cheered. Since that night, I hadn't responded to her texts. I needed space, but the weight of it all was eating me alive. The silence, the avoidance, the confusion, it wasn't helping. I needed to hear her say it, to see her face when I asked why. So I called her Tuesday morning and told her we needed to talk, in person. She came over that night. When she walked in, she looked like hell. Eyes puffy, no makeup, hoodie, hair tied back. She looked like someone who had cried for days. I won't lie, seeing her like that hurt. But then I remembered what she chose to do, and that pain turned into anger. We sat in silence for what felt like a full minute before I said, "Tell me the truth. All of it. Right now." And she did. Apparently, this wasn't a spur-of-the-moment thing. It wasn't her being drunk or manipulated. She knew exactly what kind of party Alyssa was throwing. They do it every year. The guest list was handpicked for people who were comfortable with group exploration, as she put it. She told me she's always had fantasies she never acted on, and that she felt like this was her last chance to be free before marriage. Yes, those were her words. I asked her, "Why didn't you just break up with me then? Or tell me you weren't ready for commitment?" She started crying and said, "Because I love you. I didn't think it would change how I felt about us. It was just supposed to be one night. Something separate. Like a reset. Like cheating on me with 6 guys was a spa day." I asked her point blank, "Was this the first time you did something like this?" She didn't answer. That silence told me everything I needed to know. After that, I told her to leave. That we were done. She tried to plead, she even got on the floor at one point and begged me to stay. But I was done. There's no coming back from what I saw. No version of her explanation that made it less humiliating, less gutting. But it didn't end there. Now, for context, I was close to Leah's family. Her parents used to say I was like the son they never had. We'd spend holidays together. Her mom and I would text about recipes. It was that kind of closeness. Her mom asked if she could come by. I agreed, mostly out of respect. She brought Leah's dad too. They sat down in my living room, visibly uncomfortable. Her dad wouldn't make eye contact. Her mom looked like she wanted to disappear. Her mom started with, "We're not here to defend what she did." Good. Then she told me something I didn't expect. Leah's parents knew about the party culture. Apparently, when Leah was 19, she got involved with this whole exploration crowd through Alyssa. It was something she did before she met me, then stopped once we got serious. But the moment she got engaged, old friends started reaching out, planting ideas about her losing her identity or giving up her freedom. Her mom said she and Leah had a massive fight about it 2 weeks before the party. Her mom told her not to go, warned her she'd lose me. Leah said she needed to do this for herself. Her dad finally spoke and said, "I'm sorry. You didn't deserve this. We raised her better." I appreciated that. But honestly, it just made the whole thing worse. Because now I know. She made a choice. She was warned. She did it anyway. I told them I appreciated the apology, but I couldn't ever come back from this. I said I'd be returning her ring through a lawyer and would be cutting contact. Her mom cried. Her dad nodded. They left. It's been 2 days since that conversation. I'm still in pain. I still wake up with that sinking feeling in my chest. I still picture that moment in the living room when she turned and saw me standing there. But I'm also relieved. Relieved I saw the truth before the wedding. Relieved I didn't marry someone who could lie that deeply. Relieved I still have the freedom to walk away. I'm going to start therapy. I need it. Max, my dog, I adopted him last year, hasn't left my side once. He somehow knows. He's been sleeping right next to me every night like he's guarding me from the world. To anyone reading this who feels that gut instinct something's off, trust it. I ignored a lot of small red flags over the years. Friends she used to hook up with, who still lingered. The way she always needed to get wild around birthdays. The vague answers. I wanted to believe love meant trusting someone blindly. I don't believe that anymore. Thanks for listening, Reddit. You probably saved me from a lifetime of betrayal. And to Leah, if you somehow read this, you didn't lose me because of what you did that night. You lost me because you planned it, lied about it, and then expected me to accept it. I'm not your reset button. I'm not your safety net. I'm free now. Final update, she came to my house in the rain. I still didn't let her in. Previous posts on my profile, this will be the last one. Hey Reddit, this is the last time I'll post about this. Not because it doesn't still hurt, but because it's over now. Completely. And I'm finally ready to move on. Last night was surreal. The kind of thing you see in movies, the cliché, the storm, the dramatic final plea. Except in real life, it doesn't feel like catharsis. It just feels heavy. It was around 9:30 p.m. Pouring rain. Thunder. The kind that soaks you to the bone in 60 seconds. I was sitting on my couch, finally starting to feel a little normal. Watching a dumb sitcom with my dog at my feet, warm drink in hand, finally, calm. Then I heard it. Knock, knock, knock. I froze. Max got up and went to the door, whining a little. I stood up and looked through the peephole. It was her, Leah, soaked head to toe, hair clinging to her face. No umbrella, no jacket, just a hoodie, jeans, and tears running down her face that you couldn't even separate from the rain. For a second I didn't move. A million things rushed through my head. Part of me wanted to open the door, to let her in, give her a towel, hear her out one last time. But then I remembered the look on her face at that party. How she never told me. How she planned it. How she only came clean when she got caught. How she begged only after she realized there were consequences. I cracked the window near the door and said, "What are you doing here?" She looked up, shivering, and said, "Please, just let me explain. Just give me a minute." I said, "You already had years to talk to me. Now you show up like this." She said, "I made a mistake. I was scared. I thought I was losing myself and I didn't know how to tell you. I thought I could do that one night and then come back and be the version of me you deserved." I just stared at her. She kept going. "I was selfish. I know. But I don't want to lose you. I'll do anything. Therapy. Counseling. Change my number. Quit everything. Just don't let this be the end." I wanted to believe her. I really did. But I knew that if I opened the door, if I let her back in even one step, I'd lose myself again. I'd go back to doubting. Back to wondering. Back to waking up in cold sweats replaying that night. And I deserve more than that. So I said the hardest sentence of my life. "I love the version of you I thought you were. But I can't love the version of you that stood in that room. That made that choice. That lied to me. I'm done." She broke down. Collapsed onto the porch in tears. I stood there for another few seconds, then quietly closed the window. I didn't call the cops. I didn't scream. I didn't take her back. I sat back down on the couch with Max and waited. After maybe 20 minutes, she left. I watched her walk down the driveway, rain pouring, shoulders hunched, disappearing into the streetlights. I don't know where she went. I'm not checking. And I'm not reopening this chapter. I booked a solo trip this morning. Somewhere quiet, somewhere green, somewhere far. I'm going to heal. And this time, I'll do it without begging for someone else to respect me. Thanks for walking with me through all of this, Reddit. I won't forget the support. Or the reminders that walking away is sometimes the strongest thing you can do. Goodbye, Leah. And goodbye to the version of me that tolerated that pain.